All right, welcome to Your Church Friends podcast. I'm Chris.
I'm Muireadhach.
So we've got some important information for everybody.
What is it? I feel like this is one of the surprise things. You're gonna give me the trick. You're gonna ask me what movie I've seen recently, right?
Yeah, what movie have you seen recently?
See, this is why it's a surprise, because I was like, no, I need to come prep.
No, I'm just kidding. We're not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that to your brain. What the announcement is that we have joined a podcasting network.
The best one, actually.
Yeah, I would say so. Yes, I will say so.
You are saying so.
I am saying so.
It is what I have said.
But I mean, as we started this podcast thing, we weren't really looking to, I guess we didn't have the big dreams of like, we're going to be the Joe Rogan of Christian podcasting. It was just like we were doing a thing. We thought we would record it and continue doing that thing. And really, it's just been a journey of like, us walking through our own Christian faith and life, and then having some fun looking at, like how we did last season, the excluded books of the Bible that were challenging in some ways to us. And I feel like for us as a podcast team, or at least for myself personally, like doing our podcast has just been more of a growth challenge thing than a let's get an audience type thing.
Yeah, I mean, when I go back to those early days, I was definitely like, oh, sweet, we're going to be the Joe Rogans of this thing, like massive. We'll be everywhere. Spotify will sign us. And then you're like, I don't really have any big dreams for this thing. So that's what really set the tone. It's like, all right, I'm not showing up with notes. I'm just going to sit down and No, it really has been that. And it's been fun. That's where I like each season being different, and even what we're heading into next.
Yeah.
Just like how all of it, and it's good. And again, I feel like it's just time that I get to sit down and do this with you, which is where it all spawned from. We're just like, hey, we have this in our friendship. Let's turn it into a thing.
Yeah. And so that was our beginning journey. And over the course of the last, I would say, year or so, we've kind of kicked around the idea of like being part of a Christian network. Is there a Christian podcast network out there?
Yeah, I think that's even cool to just see how God worked in that, because I feel like we started talking about it before we were even really aware of anything.
Yeah.
But just kind of like leading in a direction, and then God putting a couple things before us, and then really just opening the door.
Yeah, and I feel like the first one was with Eric, who is kind of the head of the, I guess, we haven't said what network we're a part of, have we yet? It's the Christian Podcasters Association Network. And so Eric kind of is running it, but he also ran the Facebook group page that I joined like probably a month into our podcasting. And honestly, I've learned so much there from just the community of people who share their struggles, what equipment to get, what equipment not to get, why our audio is making that funny sound. Like there's just been so many things I've learned from there. And he kind of started kicking around the idea with us and kind of started rolling it and putting it all together. So when he did it, we said, yeah, we're on board. We want to be part of it. And we did it. Which is crazy because, again, our goal wasn't necessarily promotion. We want people to listen to this thing because we feel like it'll be helpful in your journey with God. But it wasn't about like conquering the podcast Christian world.
Yeah, I feel like some of my reasons are more selfish with getting into this thing, and selfish in the means of like the only reason. And I went back and forth with a lot. How do I say the sentence? I went back and forth a lot on this with you about like, who is Eric? Because you already had the relationship.
Yeah.
But like, I wanted to get to know him, what he was about, how he was interested in running things, the other podcasters that we'd be associating with and everything. So really for me, it was more on that relational aspect of like, cool, now we get to join up with these other people and become a part of this thing. And for me, that's what I'm saying, it was more selfish. I'm like, that's just another level as we've been doing this, between us and just like what we're doing, to then be able to do that with others as well. Again, I'm not really like, sweet, now it's going to blow up from this point. Probably because Eric knows what he's doing. He's a good guy. Like that will happen. But that was more of it for me.
Yeah. And so this is what we're doing now. So I guess the big question would be, what's going to be different? What's going to change? And the answer would be nothing.
That's not true.
Why?
Because now we're going to be making all the money.
No.
I got to let people know it's not just going to be our ads anymore.
Oh, yeah, that's true. You're not going to just hear our silly ads. That's right. So that's one thing that would change. There will be actual real ads somewhere in the episodes down the line. So, yeah, I didn't think of that it wasn't just like me making up voices and doing commercials.
Right now, people who've been with us since the beginning went, "You've been
Yeah, they're like, those weren't real.
You were Luster's."
I've been trying to find the beef gristle mill to get there this entire time.
I really needed the Anger Emporium.
Right.
It's been making me more angry that I couldn't find it.
I couldn't find what was it? Jesus, Agent of Justice. I couldn't find that on any channel. But yeah. So
the hip and crit.
Hip and crit. Oh, that's
man, there
us.
really has been.
That's
but
not us.
no, now we really are just coming in, and that's just again a good thing, that supporting others on the network and just everything, and really joining in with these people who we trust and we like what they're doing, to just support as we're doing this. Like, we're wanting people to grow in their relationship. For as much as we're saying it's just us doing stuff, like, we want people to get more into the Bible. We want people to grow in their relationship. We want people to get answers to questions and feel okay asking questions, right?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of other people on this network doing that in their own spheres, in their own way. So just that kind of thing, that kind of kingdom work can be supported. That's why up until this point, we haven't really like, let's market it, let's get ads. And we've both been like, nah. But I feel like this is a good reason to have that happening at this point.
Yeah. And the other thing too with sponsorships, it's really a lot of them will be just tools and other things that will help you guys. You know, we're not like selling out and gonna have horrible sponsorship on here.
Buy this mattress.
Yeah.
Well, it's just gonna be funny. That'll be the first thing.
Buy this mattress.
Because Casper was, I don't know if they're still, they were on everybody's
What's the
podcast.
sheets guy?
I don't know.
The one for the Gaza sheets. Whatever, my mattress, my pillow, that dude. Yeah, he won't. I don't know, but I was just assuming that.
Even there, we will still have final veto powers on what gets advertised.
Yeah.
So if we're allowing it on, we're thinking that it's good for you guys.
Exactly. So that's what's happening. That's what's out there. The fact that, but what I meant by nothing will change is that this is still going to happen. Like, you're still going to get this wonderful, dumb content that you've been getting from the two of us.
Is this dumb or am I learning? It's always the question.
It's one or the other. But we're not changing how we do things. We're not going to change how we talk about things. We're still going to question things that we just seem like, I've been struggling with this and I still don't get it. And we'll still present, how we have been, other views that aren't just purely from, let's say, we're Baptist attending church members. So it's not going to be purely that. We'll still, throw in our Eastern Orthodox friends and all the other stuff that's out there.
I've been moving in some Catholic stuff, Anglican, Pentecostal.
Oh, Pentecostal's fun.
I was way out there on some like revival
journey, Azusa Street.
Nah, why am I losing the word? Casting demons out of people. What's like?
Deliverance.
Yeah, all involved in all that stuff. We're barely scratching the surface. So if anything changes, it's just because we're only 150 episodes in or something.
Every time I hear the word revival, and then I want you to tell everyone what next season, kind of what we're aiming at. But every time I hear the word revival, so my dad's church is Pentecostal, and I grew up Pentecostal. So I love our Pentecostal listeners. But they were doing a revival at their church, and they made a banner. And they spelled it revival. It's whoever the banner sign people, like, they spelled revival wrong on the banner. And I guess my dad didn't catch it. So it was on his church of like, come join us this Friday night for revival. And it's just the best thing because it was up there for like a whole week or so.
You like can't take any revival seriously?
No, I can't anymore.
Look at them with their revival.
Every time I'm like, it's a revival happening.
That Asbury revival.
Yes.
It just makes everything sound so like infantile.
Yeah.
You have your revival.
It was like someone was trying to say revival, but maybe slightly had a speech thing going on, and it came out revival.
Oh, this is all going on the podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah, you've lost your podcaster Chris voice. I thought that we were doing sidebar there for a second.
No, that's us. That's this thing still recording. So
well, it is recording, but it's always recording. Cut out.
So tell us about next season.
Next season, we're going on a journey.
A
journey that everyone has been on since the beginning. A journey to discovering a savior. Ever since we needed one, we've been trying to find him.
Yeah, that's true.
And even though he came 2,000 years ago, there's still the discovery to finding him. And again, lots of people have come saying that they are the Savior, that they are the Messiah. There's all of that. And like, I feel like we want to know that we got the right one.
Yeah, I think that's important.
I feel like, so on the one aspect, I think looking at anybody who's just like at that point of their journey of just like, yeah, everything's out there, I don't really know. Going through this will lead there. But then I also think that there's, for those of us that know him, to discover more of him. Because as we've gone through even just this journey on the podcast, just like, man, look at all that stuff that shed off.
Yeah.
As we've drawn closer, right? So, really on a mission, on a quest, on a search for the truth.
So that's next season. So that will start dropping off. What's that? Next week, hopefully. So we'll get that going. But that's our announcements that we wanted to just kind of share. So this is just a quick episode, just to release that information out there that we joined the Christian Podcast Association network. I think that's going to be good for all of us, you guys listening, and for us.
More things to listen to for y'all.
Yeah.
Go and check out. There's like a smorgasbord of different things
there's
on there.
Good stuff on
check
there.
Out the network.
But that's what we're doing. And the next season is Discovering the Savior. So have fun with those. I am Chris.
I'm Muireadhach.
And we are your church friends. Thanks for listening.